Hey everybody, welcome back to BMJ Fishing. Today it's time for the answers to your questions. I put out a video a few weeks ago asking you guys for your questions, and I got some good responses. It was really fun reading them, and it's time now for me to answer those to the best of my ability. I'm not an expert by any means, but I thought it'd be cool for us to kind of look at some of these questions. Maybe you guys have your own answers for everyone else that might help as well. You can put those in the comments below. So let's get started. All right, our first question is from Jim, and it says, I see mostly fish sitting in your kayak. Me too. Do you find it difficult to find short handle rods to use? The butts seem too long to fish comfortably with either spinning or bait casting. That's a great question. The longest rod that I use in my kayak is a 6-foot, 5-inch spinning rod. And for that very reason, the butts get pretty long after that, and I find it to be pretty difficult to kind of use that in a kayak, especially when you're in a sit-inside kayak. It makes it even harder to kind of maneuver holding the rod and sitting down and things like that. One thing that I really like doing is when I fish soft plastics, I actually use ultralight rods. It makes for a great fight, and also they're really short. I think I have 2 ultralight rods that are maybe 4 feet, 4.5 feet, and then there's a third one that I have that's about a 5-footer. But they're great little rods, spinning combos. I use them for all my soft plastic fishing, and they're really easy to kind of manage in the kayak. And if you have tangles and things like that too, they're pretty easy to work on without having to kind of maneuver while sitting down in the kayak with your rod. So I recommend checking out using some ultralight stuff, using some, 6-foot rods. That's pretty much what I use for like my jigs, my spinners, cranks. The stuff that kind of requires a little bit beefier of a rod, I use like a medium action spinning rod for that. It's about 6 foot, 6'5". All right, the next question is from William, and it says, would you possibly be willing to do a subscriber ride along to go on a kayak fishing trip with you? That'd actually be a pretty cool idea. I'm not sure where all my subscribers are really from, if you guys are kind of all in the same East Coast United States region, or if you guys are all spread out all over the place. But one idea that I had was maybe all of us meeting up at a kayak fishing tournament and kind of fishing together there. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm going to be at the Yak Attack tournament this May, hopefully. I paid my submission fee. I'm waiting to hear back if I'm confirmed or not. But that was kind of a last minute thing. So I think maybe next year we'll say, hey, let's all go to the Yak Attack tournament, or let's all go to this tournament, and we'll plan it in advance. I'll let you guys know on the channel, and we'll see if we can all kind of make it there. And that'd be a cool weekend just to hang out, not only meet other anglers, but hang out with me. We'll do some fishing and share some war stories and stuff. It's a pretty fun weekend. So yeah, so I think we'll do that. Another question from him is, what's the biggest fish from your kayak? I caught a 4-pound largemouth bass in my sit-inside kayak. I was using an ultralight rod, and I had a pumpkin seed Senko worm on there, and I was fishing in Pennsylvania. And that was really fun, catching a fish that big on an ultralight rod. It was giving me a sleigh ride all around the pond that I was on, and that was a blast. I'm really hoping that this spring and summer, when I get back to fishing again, that I can even top that and go for a 5, 6, 7, 10 pounder. That'd be really fun. I haven't caught anything bigger than that. I know there's people that catch like muskies and stripers and things like that that are huge. I haven't gotten anything that huge yet, but maybe this year. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. And this is another question from him as well. Could you do a rod and reel arsenal video? Yes, that's in my list of videos to do. I keep a little list going as far as gear videos, things that I can do when I'm not fishing. So that's actually in the works. I'm going to shoot that probably soon, and then kind of hold on to it because I want to space them out. So when there's a long period where I'm not fishing, I can kind of plug one of those in and keep giving you guys some content. So yes, that is in the plans. I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but check the Facebook And I'll let you guys know like when I'm working on it and then when it comes out. All right, this next question is from Will. Do you ever fish for any other species than bass, like pike, walleye, catfish, or even deep sea? I have not ever deep sea fished in my kayak. I'm a little nervous to do that. I have fished in an actual boat out in the ocean. I actually used to live right near the ocean in New Jersey, so I'm pretty familiar with stripers and flounders and things like that. As far as in my kayak, I haven't done anything other than largemouth, smallmouth bass. I've caught pike, crappie, pickerel, your bluegills and sunnies and things like that. And then I have caught some catfish as well in my kayak. But I haven't tried muskie or walleyes or anything like that, mainly because they didn't have them in New Jersey. And when I moved down here to Virginia, I'm sure they're here, but I haven't really found them yet. So once I find them and kind of learn more about how to catch them and stuff, maybe we'll do some of that. And I've caught trout as well, which is pretty fun. I've done that in New Jersey. The next question is from Mega Fishing Adventure, and it says, could you do a video on standing in your kayak? Sure. I'm not very good at standing in my kayak. I don't have the best balance. So maybe that's a video we can kind of do together and kind of learn together how to do that. Probably get some good footage of me falling in, so that'll be a blast. but yeah, we can definitely add that to the list for sure. All right, the next question is from Justin, and it says, more river fishing, ? Yes, I'm planning on doing more river fishing this year. I have the James River right by where I live, and I'm kind of used to the lay of the land around here after moving here a couple years ago. I'm going to start branching out to some new bodies of water this year, so I'm going to hit the James River for sure. There's also some rivers that I used to paddle for years up in Pennsylvania, so I haven't ever fished them before, and I got family that live up there. So the plan is to go up, visit family, and fish those rivers as well. So I'm going to do that sometime this year, probably in the fall. So again, check out the Facebook, and I'll let you know when I'm going up there, and hopefully get some good footage of me catching some smallmouth. They got a lot of smallmouth up in those rivers, so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, this is another question from Justin. It says, I want to get into kayak fishing. What is a kayak you would recommend to start out with? I'm more of a sit-in kayak guy. I actually started out as a sit-inside kayak guy. I still have my Perception Sundance, and I would recommend for sure looking into those. I know they're a little bit different than when I bought mine. When I bought mine, Perception was still their own kind of standalone company. I think now they're owned by Wilderness Systems or one of those type companies. But yeah, I got my boat for $600. It tracked really good. It still does. Big cockpit, which is great for fishing. And yeah, I would definitely check those out. They have some other boats, like the Jackson Kilroy is more expensive, but that's the same kind of concept. It's got a big cockpit, sit inside. Wilderness makes the same boat as the Perception that I have. It's called the Pungo 120. It's the exact same boat, just a different manufacturer. I think Perception as well makes a boat very similar. That's a different name now. So yeah, check those out. The main thing you want to look for is just a big cockpit. Probably 12 feet is a good kind of versatile length as well for a kayak when you're first starting out. It kind of hits a lot of your bases as far as what your needs are. So yeah, definitely check out those kind of boats for a sit-inside kayak. Okay, and here's a question from Jim that kind of piggybacks off the last one. This is our last question as well. It says, good question. What features are extremely important to have in a fishing kayak? For example, is a rudder a top requirement? The biggest gear that I can recommend for a fishing kayak is the seat. Make sure it has a comfortable seat. When you're sitting there kind of working a lure, not really paddling, just kind of sitting, waiting for something to happen, you really notice if your seat is not comfortable. And that's what I found with my sit-inside kayak. That's why I have my sit on top Jackson Cuda, because the seat is much nicer. So definitely make sure you get a good seat. If you have a sit-inside kayak, again, make sure you get a bigger cockpit so you can have some more room to operate, tie lures, things like that. Look at your tackle. Also, I would say keep an eye for mounting points. So if you're getting a boat and you're not going to go gung-ho right away, but you say, hey, add to my arsenal here. I'm going to get a fish finder someday. I'm going to do this sort of things. Just kind of keep in mind, like, you know, mounting points and accessibility, and you know, definitely take your kayak out and test drive it at a dealer day, and just kind of get a feel for how it tracks and for where you would kind of put stuff. Rod holders are obviously very important. As far as the rudder that you mentioned, it's not really like a huge necessity per se. I fished for years without one and did fine. I didn't really even notice not having it. If you're in somewhere with like a strong current, like a river or salt water, stuff like that, you might need it, and you'll kind of figure that out if you need it or not. But I would say starting out, it's not really a necessity item. It definitely helps you kind of track straight and stuff like that, but I would say for starting out, I would go with like a depth finder or some cool ram mounts and stuff for my rods before I would go with a rudder. I actually just got a rudder for my Cuda 12, and I'm going to do a video on that in a few weeks. I haven't had a chance to actually use it yet, so when I actually get to use it, I'll really do a thorough video on it and let you know more about rudders and kind of what my experience has been with them. So there you go, that's our questions. I want to thank you guys again for submitting those. We'll probably do this again, I don't know, maybe 6 months from now we'll do another question and answer type thing. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I love reading your guys' comments and getting a chance to talk to you a little bit more about kayak fishing. I'm thinking about maybe even doing a Google Hangout sometime. I think that'd be cool, where more of like an instant conversation and kind of waiting a few weeks for my answers. But yeah, this was a good time, and I'll let you know if we do a Google Hangout or anything like that in the future. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Just go to bmjfishing.com. It'll take you right to the Facebook page, and you'll like us there. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram now as well. Just check us out, BMJ Fishing. And until next time, keep those lines tight, and we'll talk to you soon.